I'm Will Ripley in Pyongyang, North Korea. This is CNN.
It's 1932. The stock market has crashed and it has not been getting any better. Many are out of work and children are suffering drastic changes in their education. This is the Great Depression and it is affecting everyone. The election of 1932 is and will be one of the most influential elections of all time. The election brings hope as new and old candidates have entered the playing field. Democratic nominee Franklin Delano Roosevelt, commonly referred to as FDR, was the governor of New York in 1928. Our other candidate is a well-known businessman and inventor, Herbert Hoover. He was named the head of the Food Administration during Wilson's presidency and was elected president in 1928. The economy has crashed due to constant overspending and leftover debt. People blame Hoover for letting the Depression take its course without interfering, because he had a belief that it would end by itself. But it might never have ended without action. People wanted someone who would take care of them, someone who would save them from themselves. At the end of the new era, the economy was booming and business was going on as usual. Due to overspeculation and rapid expansion, the stock market reached its peak in the August of 1929. The stocks, though, were not at their real price because of debt, unemployment, and lack of production. Numerous other reasons were low wages, the proliferation of debt, a struggling agricultural sector, and an excess of large bank loans that could not be liquidated. Due to this, on October 29, 1929, the day known as Black Tuesday, stock prices completely fell, and billions of dollars were lost in trade. Even the machines collapsed due to heavy trading and could not calculate the sheer number of trades that were occurring at this time. People viewed Hoover negatively because he did not do anything about the stock market crash, but rather let it go on, thinking that it would resolve itself.
Herbert Hoover was the Republican secretary under Coolidge and Harding. He was the head of U.S. Food Administration in Europe and was fondly known as the Great Engineer. He was elected in 1928.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a Democratic governor of New York. He ran for vice president in 1920 on a losing ballot. He was also the assistant secretary of the Navy appointed by Wilson and had polio and only wanted pictures above his waist.
Toward the end of Hoover's administration, the country faced a banking crisis. This was due to the fact that after World War I, banks made numerous risky loans to people they knew that could never pay back. Between the time FDR was elected and when he officially took office, the banking system reached the verge of collapse. Real estate groups failed. The stock market, which had collapsed in 1929, had not shown any improvement. Also, agricultural prices dropped due to the excessive overproduction of crops by farmers. The banks, which were already struggling with money, had a hard time giving out loans to people who needed them. This problem especially became magnified when people started drawing out money from the banks, creating an even shakier banking system.
At the end of his term, Herbert Hoover was very indecisive. He refused to take action without the explicit support of the upcoming President Roosevelt.
On March 4th, the day of Roosevelt's inauguration, every state in the Union had either stopped their banking operations or had to stop depositors from accessing their money to save their banks from even further distress.
Practices of the unscrupulous money changers stand indicted in the court of public opinion, rejected by the hearts and minds of men. True, they have tried, but their efforts have been cast in the pattern of an outworn tradition. Faced by failure of credit, they have proposed only the lending of more money. Stripped of the lure of profit by which to induce our people to follow their false leadership, They have resorted to exhortation, pleading tearfully for restored confidence. They only know the rules of a generation of self-seekers. They have no vision, and when there is no vision, the people perish. Yes, the money changers have fled from their high seats in the temple of our
To
civilization.
let the banks recuperate,
We
Roosevelt
may now
closed the banks for
restore
4
that
days
temple
and called it a
to
4-day
ancient
holiday.
truth.
He then summoned Congress for an emergency session. In that emergency session, the Emergency Banking Relief Bill was passed, with such unprecedented support that it was signed into law immediately. This gave the government the opportunity to reopen solvent banks and reorganize remaining banks.